Hello Internet, it's Jason here from Godlike Productions once more, and just going to run through my initial thoughts on the Softube Channel 1 Mk3, so the fader and the channel, and let you know my thoughts. There's been a lot of videos were around about a year ago, and nothing's really covered some of the latest advances, so I haven't got into it heavily yet, still learning. Little hardware problem which I'll show you in a second, but Softube is sorting that out for me, and hopefully I'll have a new fader tomorrow. So yeah, let's run through it. So I got these a couple of weeks ago, thanks in part to my wonderful Buy Me Coffee subscribers, so thank you guys for the ongoing support, and especially for the online tutorials, one-on-one sessions, and also the custom stuff I've been doing for a few of you guys. It really has made a big difference, and I'll hopefully be opening that up again soon. I'm getting close to being in a place where I can do that again. But yeah, thank you very much. I put the money that I've sort of been saving from the subscriptions aside and finally got this, so there will be another goal up there at some stage in the near future. But anyway, I got these a few weeks ago and I did an unboxing video which I haven't published yet. I'm still editing it because it got a little bit rambly and got to go down, trim it down so it's a bit more viewable, and I'll go through the unboxing of that, which was good fun. But I've learned quite a few things since then, so I was having a bit of a first meander without having read the manual in a lot of depth, and I'm going to go through now and show some of the things that have changed with the Softube for Ableton Live at least. So without further ado, let me get things happening. Let's get Ableton up and running. There's a couple of things that need to happen if you're going to use this in Ableton. So there's two ways it works in Ableton. The first way, which everyone has, you've probably seen, it's where you drop the Console 1 plugin into each track, and Ableton does its thing. That's all cool, all works as expected. But one of the things that you can do now is you don't need to have the plugin on the channels, and it will function and do direct door control. I'll do it from the thing. So you can see here I've got one of these displays is out. It gets garbled. This is the hardware problem I've got, so this unit's going back to Softube tomorrow. Got some support from Softube. Not entirely sure what's going on. Did one update that fixed it for a little bit, and then it went on the blink again. So they've agreed that they're going to exchange it. So thanks to Softube for that. Took a little while to get there, but all happy. But anyway, let's go through this direct door mode and just sort of demonstrate that it does in fact control all the bits and pieces that we want it to. We've got the sends, but yes, you can sort of see how we can adjust it. We can do the sends from the channel as well. So you do send 3 if you wanted to. I haven't got send 3 set up. So that works. Pan knob works, so we're on channel 7, and all the channel selections work, and you see that we've got all the relevant colors there. Alright, so that's in door mode, and you'll see that the Softube plugin isn't loaded. I've got it on the sends, but trust me, it works even if you've got none of them done. But one of the things that you do have to do in Ableton, so I'm on Windows here, but it's the same for Mac, is that you have to set up Softube Direct Door Controller as a control surface and then you need to select whichever one you've got. So I've got the fader and the channel, so you'll sort of see that your inputs and outputs need to be set on those. Then it will work as control. It's fairly well integrated. One of the cool things, so if I'm on channel 4 now, one of the cool things that's there is that we can load the strip, just press the button, and it will drop the console 1 plugin straight into your channel, which is very cool. Right, so you can control all that from the console 1. Now, one thing that you do need to do is, if you have set your Ableton Live library location to somewhere apart from the default, you'll need to go in when you install the console 1 software, it will drop a script into the default folder, the default library folder. So I will put some links up and show you the default, where the default folder is. You need to copy that script and throw it in your user library, otherwise this won't work. Okay, so this won't recognize it. And once you've done that change, I had to reboot my computer. Now, I've got a couple of little quirks with Live, so it might just be my computer, but if it's not working, do a reboot on your Windows computer and it will come up. This works the same on Mac as well. I'm not going to bother going around and running at the Mac, but it's all awesome and good fun. All right, let me show you the Softube. This is a Softube on-screen display. Is what it comes up as, and you've got a number of different modes that you can come up and have a look at if you want to use it. I tend to keep this one here open, mainly for one main reason, and I'll show you what that is in a sec. So one of the cool things is that I've got this set up because I like the SSL 9000, the BX console from Plugin Alliance, and I've basically set it up as my main default for all the channels. So this is a default channel that loads in. There's nothing wrong with the default Softube stuff. It's all pretty good. It's just I like this. I'm used to the sound now, so that's what I've done. But one of the cool things is that you can change the channel strips. So if you hold down load strip and you go into a section, now this is what I use this screen for. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be. You'll see on the display here, it's got navigation instructions on there, and you can scroll through them, but you can do it from the front panel, but it is a little bit hard to see. So we can go down and we can pick, so this is, I think I did the shape section, so you can sort of see it's got all the UAD plugins I've got, and you know, lots of different bits and pieces. So I can put the black box in there, for example. Set it up, and then you press the solo button to load it, and we've now got the analog black box you can see on channel 4 in this first section. So that's all immediately controllable. Saturation, you know, your pentode and diode amounts. So, and then you've got your, if you hold down shift, there's a couple of extra options there. You've got your output and your air amount input in. EQ, as it is on the box. So if we load in the default one, so if we load in the core suite modern or vintage, I will show you something on this because it's pretty cool. All right, so one of the things on this is that these actually, you know, 4 bands are set up there, and you can, you know, do what you need to do there. So again, it's EQ. So the modern one has got very narrow, it can go very narrow. The classic one, not so much. That's all, you know, all controllable, all makes sense. One of the cool things that people have sort of said, you can double click to reset it, which is good. But if you hold down shift, you'll see that there's another 2 bands here. Okay, so you've got, or you can adjust the slope, but you've got these, you know, extra couple of bands. Which is pretty cool. So, yes, essentially 6-band EQ. Sounds really good. I'm not going to go through and do a demo of sounds at the moment. I will do another one on that. I'll do some mixing sessions later on. I do really like these little screens. They are, you know, this one here, I tend to keep this in, you know, the active, or this one here. You can change what's on these screens. So, you know, you can have your VU meters, gain reduction, waveform combined, waveform current, and then your shape, EQ, compressor, and I think there's one which is the one adaptive, which is the one I do, which basically whatever you touch is what it uses. And again, you can do the same sort of thing on this display as well if you want. Again, it's adaptive, but I tend to keep this one on either the track or the VU or gain reduction, just depending on what I'm doing on that. So it's really good. I like how I sort of tend, I mean, you can set it up so that it changes channel, but I tend to use these at the top, these knobs, these buttons at the top to cycle between my tracks. You can, I mean, you can control these with the plugin if you want to, and that's all very valid. It's all very useful. So you can take this out in the road without the controllers, and you can certainly use it, but it's much better with this. Now, probably looks a little bit awkward here with this off to the side. I don't usually have it here. I've put it here just so the cameras can see a little bit easier. I normally have this set up right in front. It just fits nicely under my monitors here. I have a keyboard in front, and then I have all the synths around that I can use. So I am getting used to this now. The sound is magnificent. It is such a nice way to work during mixdown. Just having the faders, it's really, really quick. Once you sort of get your head around it a little bit, it's a really quick way of working and just cycling through the channels. So I now basically just load up. I used to have the Plugin Alliance SSL on all the channels, and I used to use the AMEC Plugin Alliance on the drum buses, but now I just load up load up the Softube, and then I can select those bits and pieces. Basically within the Softube plugin, I can pull those bits and pieces, and it has a really consistent interface, which I appreciate. I mean, I love the graphic design and everything that's gone into all the Plugin Alliance and UAD plugins. All looks pretty cool, but from a nuts and bolts perspective of getting a mix done, having that consistent interface is really, really nice. And just being able to control the different, you know, those different plugins, or those different channel strips right off the bat here is really, really good. Yeah, I guess in terms of the build quality, apart from the hardware issue that we've got here, which hopefully is not something that's common on these, yeah, just pretty good. I have had a few quirks with the software, but it's mainly been in the setup and upgrades. So this display went out when the door control ability for Ableton was set up. So it did weird things, didn't work for a bit, and then it suddenly worked, and then this display all glitched out. And it hasn't been right since. So again, not sure if it's a hardware issue or if it's a software issue. Anyway, hopefully we'll get this sorted out. And I've sort of noticed I've had to do, when Ableton updates, you have to copy that file across again, the script, and yeah, when Softube updates, yeah, sometimes things don't happen. But I think particularly when Softube, because when they upgraded this time to the latest version, it brought with it a new a new script file, and that's why it didn't load, because it updated the script file in the default one, and when I went in and had a look, it had a new update date, slightly different size, so I had to copy that across, reboot the computer, and then it all worked again. But yeah, it's really, really nice to have this just work on your DAW channels, like your Ableton channels, without having to do anything else. So that's, you know, even just that, even if you're just using the you know, faders and that, it's worth the price of admission just for that. It would be awesome if, and I haven't tested it, but I'm assuming it's not going to work, is that it would be cool if this would actually control the Ableton compressors and EQ8, for example, right off the bat as well. That would be really valuable. Hopefully Softube will listen to it. You can do it on Cubase. It is set up. Cubase has sort of got, each channel's got the EQ sort of built in, whereas Ableton doesn't. It's something that you add to it. But you never know. If you don't ask, you don't know. Anyway, that's just what I wanted to sort of give an update, is that yeah, it works really well for the DAW configuration now. Another thing that is new is it now has MIDI CC, so you can set these up. If we go into I think it's, let's just show this. No, it's not there. You can do it in, so if we do load strip section, let's just cancel out of that one. You have got the option of doing the MIDI CC, so you can put MIDI CC in a single section, and then you've got all these controllers, and you can assign them to Ableton or to whatever, and you can do the same on the one down here. You've also got, I think you can do the whole, so if we just cancel out of that, you can also do the function mode as well, so shift function mode. And that's got, you can just have it as a MIDI controller. So you've got the you know, Pro Tools Huey, General MCU, and then you've got a fader MIDI control where you can just set this up to control as a MIDI controller. And I did have this set up to control the UFX3 Total Mix. It seems to work pretty well there. It's got fairly good, not as MIDI control, I think I set it up as the generic MCU. Yeah, it'll work pretty well. It shows, it's not complete control, but you know, it does your faders, your pan, your solo mute buttons, things like that come up on it. You can control it. You can bank across to your channel, so look, that works fairly well. If anyone was looking at getting into using this to control the RME Total Mix, certainly works. It's probably not quite as full featured as what my O1X is, but O1X has got its own bunch of issues with relying on MLAN still, so it's a bit of a pain, which I've done a little bit of a session on that before. But anyway guys, a little bit of a overview of the current state of the Console 1. It's certainly come a long way from a lot of the videos I saw a year ago, where there's a lot of people complaining about you know, not having native DAW control for Ableton. That's all now fixed. You can run very light systems indeed. If you just want to use the stuff out of the box, put your own plugins and things like that, you can set up the console and the fader if you want as MIDI controllers for individual plugins. That's all supported now. It's fairly easy to do. I probably won't do very much of it because A, it's a bit of a pain to set up, and I think a lot of the plugins and that, unless I'm using one plugin an awful lot, it's probably just quicker to get the job done just by bringing it up on the screen, playing with it with the mouse, rather than having to go through the, you know, the rigmarole of mapping it all just to use it. I don't tend to use a lot of the instrument plugins on lots and lots of tracks. Most of my stuff's done with hardware. Sometimes I will use a soft synth, but it's fairly rare, so you know, I only have them on occasion. And all the main plugins I was using in terms of effects was channel strip plugins, and that's all now contained within that one user, the one user interface and the Softube plugin and the core mixing suite. So I don't have a need for it. So it's, I mean, I can do it if there's something that I need from a particular channel strip that that Softube haven't mapped. And I know that for the AMEC, for example, they haven't mapped the glow parameter. I've put a request in. Hopefully that will get mapped. So it's not natively mapped at the moment. But if I did need that functionality for that one plugin, yeah, look, I might go and map that, just to ease of use for the mix down. And basically I just use the same layout as what they've got there. Yeah, so look, that's it. I'm going to do some more sessions on this as well and run through and do some mix downs. And just for an update for all the H9000 guys that are out there, channel strip, the dual mono channel strip is coming. I sent out a post a couple of days ago that I was getting close. Unfortunately, I found some more errors, so I need to do another, I think I've fixed them now, but I need to do another test run on that. And then once that's done, I'll record the video, get the manual out, get it out to you guys. It's nearly done, but it has been it's been a frustrating mind journey for me to get into it. But anyway, guys, if you like my content, like what I'm doing, do the subscribe-y thing, follow us, yeah, become a subscriber at Buy Me a Coffee and get goodies for free. It's mainly H9000 stuff at the moment, but I do a bit of Deluge stuff and some Kurzweil patches when I'm back in the mode of programming. Unfortunately, I have less time now than I did because I'm gainfully employed once again, which is great for the bank balance and great for paying the bills. Not so great for having the extra time in the studio, but it's, yeah, getting a little bit more manageable and not having to spend so much time setting the studio up. Nearly finished it. There will be a few more videos on the setup process. Anyway, guys, if you've got any questions, let us know. Pop them down. I do like to hear comments. I like to I'm usually pretty good about responding to questions and queries. If I've got something wrong, let me know. I'm still learning about all this stuff as well, and I don't profess to know everything. Yeah, got quite a few years of experience. I've made lots of mistakes and worked lots of stuff out, but certainly haven't worked it all out. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Hope you find this video valuable. And Softube, the way it's working really is working nicely for me. The software so far has generally been pretty good and fairly reliable once you've got those sort of setup quirks out of the way. And yeah, I'm looking forward to actually getting some music done out of the studio, and got some releases coming up, looking at working with Clan Analog fellas for that, and we have another release coming out as well. So that's sort of been happening in the background a little bit, but we need to get some new music on the way too. And now that I've got this beautiful room, I want to do it. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. I will see you all next time.